Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. Boy, was that like really excited there. So before we get to babbling, because that's what we do here, we babble about music. I want to ask you to like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because this is one of those bands that's been around quite a while, and that's usually what we do, is talk about bands that have been around a while. And kind of back together again as we're talking about Dream Theater and their new live album. They do have a lot of live albums, but this one might be a little bit more special for people because it's the first one with Mike Portnoy back in the band again. It's called Quarantieme Live in Paris. I think Quarantieme, I don't know. However you say it. Live in Paris. Live A Paris. Live A Paris. I don't know. Well, however you say it, that's what it is. I'm way too excited, way too full of turkey to be doing this, but here we go anyway. This is the reason I'm kind of doing this one. I know it's a live album, and I don't usually review live albums, but I did a review of the last album with Mike. I can't even think of the name of it off the top of my head. People did not like that album, apparently. There was not a whole lot of joy for that album, which I found really surprising. I thought it was a good album, not like top tier Dream Theater by any means compared to what they've put out. They put out some great stuff in the past. So I get it. So I guess the reason I'm doing this is just to see what people thought, give my opinion of Mike rejoining the band, maybe what it's done, good or bad, whatever. I mean, I've been listening to Dream Theater since before James Labrie joined the band. I remember getting that first album and just thinking that was great. I just, when I was going to college at that point in time, I had a cassette tape of it, and I used to listen all the time. So I remember when I heard that they got a new singer, and they came out with the first single, which was Pull Me Under, which is on here. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's such a good song. I went and got the album, and I just really liked James's voice. Now, I know he gets a lot of slack for being not a great singer. I thought his stuff way back early on was great. I think he had a lot of emotion in his voice, especially in the first couple albums. I know he blew his voice out, and he's had troubles. And he really can't hit the high notes like he used to. He used to even have trouble back in the day. So if we're being honest, live stuff, he even had trouble back then, but you really can't hit him now. But I think it says something, for not getting rid of the guy. They probably could have found another singer. They've gone through a few different members. I know Mike left and they got a different drummer, but I know the whole story there, it seems a little bit fishy depending on which side you hear. Changed keyboard players several times, but for the most part, they've stayed pretty solid. James isn't the original singer either, but I think it's cool that they've stuck with the guy and let him do what he has to do. My personal opinion on that. Some people may completely disagree. But anyway, Mike coming back. One of the guys I play with in one of the bands I'm in is a huge Dream Theater fan. He went and saw them and said it was a great show. It was 3 hours long. That's pretty much what I think this is. I think this clocked in right around 3 hours, 3 CDs. They cover a lot of stuff. I mean, they got a big catalog. So there's a lot of stuff they cover. I mean, they start out with Metropolis, which I thought was cool. That's I would not have expected them to start with that. I've never seen them live, unfortunately, so I don't really know if that's something they do normally. I got the live albums. I don't really remember how they started them, but there's a few things that I thought you would hear, and there's a few things I was actually surprised to see were not on here, but they did throw a few of the newer songs in here, like Panic Attack is in there, and Night Terror was in here as well. But overall, I thought the feel of the band is just better with Mike in it. And I think that's strange to say that type of thing about a prog band, especially a prog metal band, because it's all about technical and stuff a lot of the time. But these guys, they do have a feel. There's a swing to Mike's playing sometimes, and Mike Mangini, jeez, I never say names right. A great player, phenomenal player. I don't think he has the same swing as Mike does, and Mike just has different parts. He uses a lot of the same stuff a lot. I will say that, but he has a style, and I think it fits well within the band. And I think what he does just fits better, in the band. That's all I'm trying to say there. I'm not trying to knock one. I like Mike's playing. I like what he does with other bands and stuff. I think he fits in really great here with Dream Theater the most. Of all the projects he's been involved with, I think this just feels the best. And I like what he does. I like all the stuff he's done with the transatlantic, and all the Neil Morse stuff. And he's very, you know, prolific when it comes to his drumming, but I just think this is his home. This is where the stuff fits, and it really showed on here. And he doesn't play his stuff. He plays in a lot very close to what the albums are, but he throws a little twist here and there, which was nice to hear, instead of just playing exactly the same thing over and over and over. Some of the highlights for me, actually, on here were some of the slower songs. I actually think James sings way better on the lower register and the more emotional stuff like Howl Years. Love that song. It's not as progressive as most of the stuff they do, but when it comes to the singing, I think that's where he really shines, is on that type of more emotion and slower melodic stuff. As I Am, I think it was a great way to end the first disc. That's kind of a more song I'm familiar with, so I really enjoyed listening to that one. Night Terror I thought was a good song here that fit in with the live set well. The newer one, most people don't know it quite that well as, you know, some of their stuff, but it goes right into an Under Glass Moon, which is of course one of the most well-known tracks. I thought that one sounded great. And the end CD2 with Octavarium, which probably the longest, I think it's the longest one on the whole thing here. Yeah, 24 minutes long. That was super long, but phenomenal. Just, I thought that was just, it doesn't seem that long when you're listening to it. That's the one thing I do like about Dream Theater. The songs do not seem that long when you're listening to them. And then CD3 was a little weird week for me. Home, I didn't really enjoy that at all, quite honestly. I don't know why. I thought that was really kind of boring. And when that carried into At Least the Spirit Carries On, that's kind of where James shows us singing a little bit better again. And then they, of course, end with Pull Me Under, which is funny. I just was trying to learn that song myself here in the past month, because the bands I'm in decided that we're going to do that. And that's not fun to learn that song. It's really not fun. I play bass in this particular one, and man, if there's one song I wish I didn't have to learn, it's that one. But here I am trying to do it, see if it happens. But only the one part, like the rest of it's really not that bad. But man, there's one part in that song that's just absolute killer. It just makes me appreciate them even more, and how they can manage to write stuff like that's crazy to me, and how they can remember it all and play it all year after year after year, and the catalog they have is just insane. I mean, they can remember how to play all this stuff, so it's quite impressive to me, just that part of it. So anyway, I really enjoyed this. I know it's another live album to the catalog, but I thought this one was a little bit more special than some of them, and all but the one song, I actually really enjoyed it. And you know, for 3 hours worth of music, one 13-minute track isn't that bad of a deal, I guess. So anyway, that's my quick thoughts on it, and I'm sure other people will completely disagree with what I had to say, which is fine, because that's what it's all about. Feel free to express your thoughts below. We don't have to agree. It's fine if you do, but in fact, I like it when you do, but when you don't, it's not going to break my heart. That's kind of what it's all about. We just all experience things different ways. As long as we're enjoying most of it, I guess that's all that really matters. And I'm just going on and on babbling now, and I don't know why. So until the next time, hopefully it'll be another studio album, not a live one. We'll see you.